Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Sip and Spin. My name is Skylar, and over here in a cute skirt and like piratey top with like puffy sleeves and a corset is Brittany.
Hello. Yeah, I feel very winchy today.
I love it. I'm here for it.
But we are a variety podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing.
I think we did it.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute. We're back, guys.
Yes. So for you, if you've been listening, like, it's not going to be any big deal for you because, hey, we're putting new stuff out again. Yay. But this is actually the first in months that we've recorded.
I don't think we've recorded since February.
Yeah, so.
And it is now almost July.
Whoops.
Life got crazy.
It's fine.
I started a new job, went to a concert, went to a wedding. Brittany's AC broke and her basement flooded and her heating broke back in the wintertime. And then when it got warm, the AC broke and the basement flooded. So it's just been a whole thing. We're actually recording back in the office now, which is where we not started out. I think like in the 4th episode we switched over to here. 4th or 5th, something like that.
We play musical podcast rooms here on this podcast.
We roll a dice and that decides where we go for the day.
Yeah, we don't spin a wheel for that. We roll a dice, apparently, is the analogy Skylar wanted to go with.
We still can't make any actual decisions, and that's the point of who we are as people.
Word, yes.
But we're back. Yay!
Let's see if we can stick with it.
I've got the clapboard again.
Skylar has the clapboard, which is, looking back, a very poor decision on my part.
I'm so excited.
Okay. Well, it also fits today's topic, though. So what are we talking about?
We're talking about movies.
Yes. And we're drinking red wine.
We are.
Which I know Skylar's so happy about.
Yeah, it's my favorite, for sure.
Should we try our wine?
I guess so. Oh, well, I am drinking 19 Crimes Cali Red with
the
Snoop Dogg on the cover. Or the label. Not the cover. It's a label. But yes, that is what I'm drinking.
That's a good wine.
We've had it on the podcast before. I think I liked it.
We'll find out. And I don't remember what I'm drinking. I've never had it before.
And she's not picking up the bottle to look.
We're not sponsored.
Cheers. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
This one has like a blend. Do you want to try this one?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've had that one.
Well, you can still.
Okay.
Per tradition. No. Ugh.
I didn't figure you would.
Ugh. I love it here.
A great endorsement from Skylar.
This is why we're not saying the brand.
It's probably safest we don't.
Unlike episode 1, where we totally put them on blast.
Ghost Runner. Still not okay.
No. Sorry, Ghost Runner. You were not good. Any life updates?
I don't know, man. Probably, but...
Probably.
I don't even know where to start.
Same.
So, I guess we'll just jump into it.
I almost crashed on the way here.
Why? Speeding?
Well, yes and no.
I thought you stopped doing that. Are you back on it?
Well, I was going 40 in a 35.
Okay.
So that's not bad.
No.
But you know how on that road between the supermarket and, like, the church that goes kind of behind Wiki Tiki up to the main road that the old store used to be on?
Yes.
You know, that giant curve?
Yeah.
Because I think when you worked at the old store, you would turn right out of the parking lot and you would go all the way down, right? And take that big curve. Yeah, well, I kind of forgot that the big curve was there and, like, forgot to slow down until, like, the last minute. And I was like, oh, I almost went to the ditch. And then I just kept driving. And then I get here and I park in front of your house. Wasn't even thinking. Just got out of the car. And as soon as I opened my door and stepped out of the car, I was like, well, good thing there wasn't a car coming because I totally didn't look before I got out of the car.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's bad.
Listen, my brain is not here today at all.
Great.
I worked like a 10-hour shift yesterday.
Jeez.
And then today, I don't know what's going on, but like I didn't even want to like watch YouTube. I didn't want to watch TV. I would try a different show and I'd get like halfway through the episode and I was like, I don't want to do this. And then I'd try a YouTube video and I'd be like, I don't want to do this. And then I'd be listening to music. I'm like, I don't want to listen to this. Like, what is going on?
Well, it is a new moon today.
And I was like, do I want to read? And then I started reading and I was like, I really don't want to do this either. But then I just kept reading. I was like, I guess it's fine.
I'm going to force myself to read.
Because I was like, I cleaned my bathroom and like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on in my brain today.
Could just be the new moon.
Either that or I'm depressed as fuck. It's one of the two.
I mean, probably both. 'Tis the season to be depressed.
But it's fine. We're here. That's why when you were kind of like, are you okay? Like, what's wrong with your face? I'm like, no, I'm fine. But I was kind of prepared for you to ask how you are. And I was going to be like, I'm here. And that was going to be my answer. And then you asked me a different question. And I was like, I don't know how to respond to this.
Sorry. How are you? You're here.
She went, what's wrong with your face? I was like, she's like, you have a face. I was like, it's probably a good thing I have a face. I need a face. You're just supposed to have those.
You got a very specific face.
But I'm not angry.
Okay. I mean, I'm glad you're not angry. So otherwise it'd be really awkward.
Even if I was angry, I wouldn't be angry at you. So I wouldn't take it out on you.
You have no way to know that you wouldn't be angry at me.
I don't think I've ever been angry with you in the past 2 years we've known each other. There's never been a time I've been angry at you. You could probably punch me in the face and I'd still be like, I'm sorry for whatever I did.
It's good to know. Keep that in mind. Well, now we got all that cleared up.
Sorry, I can't stop talking either. We're back. It's per usual. I don't know how to stop talking. And Brittany will try and start the episode 7 times and I will continue to interrupt.
You know what? It's fine, because I didn't take that many notes, so you're going to probably carry this.
Oh, well, me either, because I was trying really hard.
Well, what did we watch?
We watched Booksmart.
Yes.
And how we came to that conclusion is it was Brittany's turn to pick a movie. And so she said she kind of wanted to do like a coming-of-age teen movie was the vibe she wanted to go for. So she gave me 3 options and 3 trailers to watch. And after watching the trailers, I decided on this one.
Yes. So I have
mainly because it had lesbians.
Lesbians.
I was like, ooh.
So yeah, we watched Booksmart. I have actually watched this previously, so that's why I like all the 3 movies I gave her a choice I have already seen. So I knew like the vibes were there that I wanted, and I figured this might be a movie she enjoyed. Did you enjoy it?
I did. Yeah,
Okay.
It was the first time I watched it. It was good.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I did rewatch it, but since I had seen it, I didn't fully like focus on it. I was also playing Fallout while I was watching it, so
Can we talk about these?
if you want to. It's very niche.
She has Fallout pinup boy posters on her wall. I am obsessed with them.
They're so good.
I think that one's my favorite. Something about the one on the top there. I don't know. I just like that one a lot.
You know what?
But this one is also very special to me.
Because
Because this is the first one I saw, and I was like, what? But I love that one. I think Sway's got his leg hiked up. I'm like, yes.
I won't ruin the vibe for you, then.
Does he die in the game or something?
No, he's just, I hate his faction. He's basically with the army.
Oh.
And they hate people that aren't them. They're very Republican in their beliefs.
Damn.
And he's the direct contrast to who he is above, which is my favorite boy on the train. Which is, he works for the railroad, which is basically like the Freedom Trail and like everyone's equal type people. But funnily enough, they're both secretly robots.
Oh, interesting.
Except he doesn't know it, and he's adversely against robots, and it's a whole thing. So like he's like has a decent character turning point. I just literally never joined his faction. But the other 3, they're good guys.
Yeah. Well, that's a shame.
But it's just funny that you play. I was like, ooh, the Brotherhood of Steel. I literally want. I blow them up every game. So
if you can tell, I know nothing about Fallout. But I love these posters. I'm here for it.
Yes, I love. They make me very happy. I love.
I'm glad they're like behind my head. I'm like, yes,
the vibes you want. It's so funny. I've had them up for free. I guess you just haven't been up here.
Yeah, because they definitely were not up there when we used to record in here, unless maybe like while we were gaming over there.
Like for that, but maybe not sitting here.
Yeah, so I wouldn't have even thought to like look over here, but since I was walking over here, it was like directly in my line of sight, and I was like,
That's fair.
Hello.
I also, like, rearranged everything, so they might be more open. I don't know.
Yeah. Are they now in the background that you can see them when...
Sometimes, yeah.
I love that.
Where the angle is.
I love that.
Yes, they make me very happy.
And you have your classic from Elves...
Dragon
Age. Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to say.
Elden Ring?
I have no idea. I was just going to start making up sounds as I went along.
No, it just sounds like from Elves. Yeah, he was an elf, you're right.
I know video games.
I know games. X to jump.
I say it's the only video games I know so far. Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, Mario Kart, and Dream Daddy.
It's a good basis. Okay.
Yes, anyway, so, Booksmart.
Yes.
All I have about the movie is it was 2019 comedy/teen film, and it was actually directed by Olivia Wilde.
Yes, it was her directorial debut.
That's awesome. Good for her.
Yeah, I think she did a great job with it. It's a very funny, like I said, very coming of agey, just the right amount of like a little bit of raunchiness that you kind of want, but wholesome and like...
And it was like when you would get to the socially awkward points of like someone being like socially awkward, it felt real without being like over the top cringe. Like I wasn't like...
Yeah, it's very smart and, like, witty.
You know how in The Big Bang Theory, they would try and make the character socially awkward and it would just felt icky?
Oh, well, the whole show feels icky.
Yeah, the whole show feels icky, but especially that, like, it just, you're like, ugh. But this, I feel like it did it and did it well. Like, you could, like, relate to it. I'm like, when Amy was trying to talk to Ryan, I was like, same.
Yeah.
I was like, I think one of my notes is, I feel Amy in this Chili's tonight.
Yeah, it's very real feeling, like, no overly cringe, but just, like, a look at, probably, I guess, it was a good look at maybe, like, Gen Z.
Yeah.
Is the vibe, so very, like, high school Gen Z humor. Gen Z is already, like, too funny for their own good, so,
yeah.
like, I think Olivia Wilde did a good job directing this. Any other, just, like,
No.
outside stuff?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I guess the other thing, so the main characters are Molly and Amy, played by Beanie Feldstein and Kaitlyn Dever? I can't read my own writing. I'm so sorry.
I think it's Devers.
Devers? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I have written here.
I'm pretty sure it's Kaitlyn Dever.
Like I said, I was playing Fallout when I wrote all this, okay? And of course, Will Forte is also in it, as well as Lisa Kudrow, Jason Sudeikis, and Billie Lourd. As well as Eduardo Franco, who plays Theo.
Okay. Not Devers, but Dever.
Dever, okay.
Kaitlyn Dever.
Okay, yes. And then, of course, if you're big into Stranger Things Season 4, Eduardo Franco is in Stranger Things this season. I remember when I was watching Stranger Things, I was like, where do I know this kid from? And then when I was rewatching Booksmart, I was like, oh shit, he's the guy who, like, banged his teacher.
Oh, yeah. I have not watched Stranger Things.
Yeah, well, he's in that this season.
I tried.
Same character vibe, too. I was like, I love this for this guy.
Yeah, I really did try. I got to, like, season 6, episode 6 of season 1, and I was like, this is boring, and I could not keep going.
You're boring.
Yeah, I am. There's nothing entertaining about me or my life.
Well, moving on. Okay, so the gist of this movie is there's the two main characters, Molly and Amy. They're two friends who, like, they focused mainly on academics in high school because that's their whole drive. Like, they want to get into really good schools, and so while everyone else was partying, you know, they're like, no, we're gonna focus on books and, like, do a lot with our lives, you know? Come to find out that everyone else who was partying and, like, whatever, also got into all these really good schools. And so Molly basically has, like, an existential crisis and a breakdown, like, fuck, we did it wrong, like, we messed up. And so she wants to cram 4 years worth of partying into the night before graduation. And that is the premise of the movie. And, like, the basis form of it, yeah. What does the movie open up to? It's just to Molly listening to an F-bomb filled meditation tape.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Fuck everyone else. Those fuckers are losers. You're amazing. And I'm just like, okay, Molly.
I was like, yeah, motivational podcast. Here we go. That's where we're at.
That's us. You're fucking awesome. And then you kind of get to the school vibe, and that's where you meet Jason Sudeikis, who I love, and, like, almost everything he does.
He was the principal.
And he's so done with Molly and Amy.
Yeah.
Because they're very much those type of people who, like, are scary, but they know, like, they boss him around, basically.
Yeah, and he's the principal.
And he's just like, fucking, no, it's graduation, leave me alone.
It's like, you guys are literally, this is your last day here.
Yeah, and, you know, I just love to see him and stuff. And, of course, when this movie was made, him and Olivia Wilde were still engaged. They are, of course, now separated, but they do have two kids together. And they were a cute couple when they were together. So I'm assuming that's why he was in this movie. Because they were engaged at the time.
So we get introduced to people like Miss Fine, and then, like, she seems to really like Molly and Amy. Like, she loves them.
She's like the cool teacher vibe.
Yeah. And they get introduced to Jared, and I really did not know how to describe Jared when we first saw him. He walked in and he had the 3 pictures of him, like, in the smaller.
Oh, yes.
Like,
I'm not even sure what kind of vibe this kid, like...
I'm just like, what is happening?
It's been a long time since I've been in high school. Maybe clown is the class clown type of guy, but... I don't even know, yeah. His vibe is very all over the place.
Yeah, I didn't...
Chaotic, maybe that's the best
he
word.
was chaotic.
Chaotic king.
Yeah, and that's when we find out Molly's going to Yale, and then for the summer, Amy is going to Botswana.
Yes.
And I was like, and outside, Amy has a gay panic moment over Ryan, who is skateboarding and has some neat tattoos, and Molly encouraged her to go talk to Ryan, and it goes painfully bad. And that's when I was like, I am feeling myself and Amy in this Chili's tonight, and that's when we learned that Amy is going to Columbia as well.
Yeah, my favorite part of that little interaction is where Molly is just like, I still just can't, it's weird to me that you're into Ryan, because, like, your first crush was a little white cat from Aristocats, and then it went to Avril Lavigne, and then Ryan. It's just not what I expected. I love that.
That was so funny.
And then, of course, that's also when you meet Gigi, who is my absolute favorite character in this movie. Billie Lourd carried this movie. Every part with Gigi was I would stop my game and I would just watch because I'm just, like, so obsessed with her in this movie. It's amazing.
Oh, and then this is when Molly goes to the restroom and she overhears the 3 people talking about her and basically saying that she has 0 personality. And so she calls them out, but then finds out that the girl is also going to Yale with Molly. And the one guy has a soccer scholarship to Stanford. And then the other guy didn't go to college, but he already has a job to code for Google. And that's when Molly was like, but you guys don't care about school. And the other girl was like, no, we just don't only care about school. And Molly, like, goes out, and that's when she starts asking everyone else where they're going to school. And she finds out that, like, Nick is going to Georgetown, and, like, someone else was going to a really good school too, but I can't remember which. But yeah, so she was like, Amy, we have to go to Nick's party.
Yeah, and Gigi, I think she's like, don't judge me. It was my 3rd choice. It's Harvard.
oh yeah. It was Gigi going to Harvard.
So upset about it.
She's like, don't judge me. It was like, I thought she said it was like her 5th choice.
Okay,
like,
maybe it was.
Yeah, she was like, it was my 5th choice, like Harvard.
And Molly is just freaking out.
Yeah, so she was like, Amy, we have to go to Nick's party tonight. Like, we missed out on so much. And that's when I was like, oh, gee, Lisa Kudrow, my queen, because they were talking about it in her. They went downstairs and I saw Lisa Kudrow and I was like, yes.
Yes, Amy's parents are the amazing Will Forte and Lisa Kudrow. And oh my god, they're so good because they're the overly supportive parents. So they're like, they make a big deal about and how much they love Amy, and they also believe that Amy and Molly are dating, and Molly completely, like, plays it up and plays into it, and Amy just wants to kill everyone.
Yeah, Amy's like, stop. And Molly's like, no, it's so funny your parents think we're boning.
And Amy's like, it's really not.
It's really not funny, actually.
So yeah, you have that whole interaction, and then they get ready to go out, and they decide to wear blue matching jumpsuits, and they watch self-defense videos.
Yes, as you should before you go to a party.
For a high school party. So there was like this little like a classic montage scene of them doing all this weird stuff to get ready to go to their first party. It was very cute. And then they're off, and they don't know where the party is.
Yeah, no one has sent them the address and no one is picking up, and Amy's like, well, maybe it's because they just called thinking you're calling them about homework or something. Or school. And
so they do not know where the party places are because, again, they've never been.
Yeah.
And so they call Jared, and he's like, oh yeah, I know where the party is, I'll come get you. And it's like, great. And so he comes and whisks them away, to his party.
To his party on a boat.
And no one else is there.
Literally nobody else except the caterer and Gigi. Oh, and I also had a little note. I was like, okay, weirdly enough, I love Jared. I was like, I don't know why, but like,
for me, it's the act. I like that actor. Like, every time he's in stuff, he plays, like, such specific, weird little guys. And I'm like, I can't help but like you.
This is just the strangest man ever. And I'm like, I love him.
Yeah, he plays strange and very weird. Really well.
And then that's what I also was like, and since I was already talking about it, like, weirdly enough, I love Jared, and I was like, and also, I don't have any hard feelings against, because at this point, we didn't know her name, so throughout the whole thing, I'm only able to call her the AAA girl, because we don't know her name until the very end.
Right.
But,
yeah, that's one of the, like, the quote-unquote, like, the mean girl, the vibe. Her nickname was AAA, because she got this reputation for, like, giving guys rides
roadside
home,
assistance.
and, like, you know.
And everyone was like, it's roadside assistance, AAA. But I was like, yeah, she's a little mean, but she did get into Yale, and she's right about the fact that you should have a life outside of your responsibilities.
Yeah, and
and it's not just school, like with work too. Like, you need to have a life outside of your responsibilities.
Yeah, the thing I like about this movie is it has all of the classic, like, tropes and, like, the stereotypical, like, grouping of people, but there's no bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, there's no mean kid. It's just everyone had different priorities. And you said, like, they call her this name, and later you find out she's like, hey, don't call me that, you know? Like, she's actually, like, a good person. And it's like, this is what I did, you know? I gave people, and she's like, oh, but I also gave him head jobs. But, you know.
But I enjoyed it.
You know, I'm
like,
good at
it.
And I still got into Yale, so fuck off with your judgment. So it's a movie that's really good about, like, tearing down, like, the judgmental walls you view people as. So I like it for that reason as well.
Yes.
Bad things kind of happen, or, like, misconceptions happened a lot, but no one was overly, like, mean. There's no, like, high school pranks or bullies or anything. It's just they kind of lived in their world, and this was how they judged all these people, but now that they're, like, in the world, it kind of changes their perceptions of everything. So it's a good view.
And I like that too, because I feel like that's
it's
typically
kind of rare.
That's typically more high school anyways, like more accurate to what high school is. Like, yeah, in high school you had people who would bully or, like, make fun of other people, but really it was just less of, like, this group kind of hung out, like, this group of friends, and then this group of friends hung out, and then you had your own group of friends, and, like, you know, sometimes you would, like, talk to each other and everything, but you really just didn't, like, mingle too often with them, and you would pass judgment, and, like, but then you're kind of like, but really, like, I don't hate them, I just, like...
Yeah, don't really know them.
Yeah.
And that's, like, you know, other high school coming-of-age teen movies, they do, like, they overplay the drama and the bullying aspect of everything. It's like, this is not what high school is like, but this one is very, like you said, more real.
Yeah.
So if you like that type of thing, I would definitely recommend it if you haven't watched it.
The only thing is that is not how any high school graduation ceremony goes.
No. She would not have been able to do that.
No. Nor does anyone get up in front of the class on the last day to perform a play in their homeroom class. that doesn't happen. I'm so sorry.
That could happen. I guess that happened in California, maybe. That would not happen here.
And, like, we had our school plays, and that was designated. Like, no two kids were like, let me perform. Nor would those two kids also sing at graduation. Like, the choir would sing. But no two kids from the theater class would just get up there and be like, time to do a song.
Man. You never know. Yeah, my next quote is a Gigi quote that she said on the boat. So she kind of stole Amy, basically, at this point. And
the whole time I was hoping Amy and Gigi were gonna kiss. I was like, please.
Yeah. But it's so funny because, like, after this moment, every time, so Gigi's whole thing is she just pops up at every single party that they're at, and they're like, how the fuck did you get here?
Like, how are you here?
And then, like, every time she passes Amy, she's like, oh my god, I missed you so much. And she just keeps walking. I was like, I love her. Because Gigi has decided that Amy is, like, her best friend, just at this one party. She's like, oh, you're here, and she swoops her up, and then Molly gets left with Jared being his weird little self, giving her a hat.
And gets up there and starts DJing his own party to
one.
Molly.
Poor kid. But yeah, so it's like Gigi and Amy are off having this conversation, and they're talking about, like, how the one time, I think Amy had like a brownie on accident or something, and it was really weird, and Gigi's like, oh my god, the same exact thing happened to me, and she's like, what, really? And Gigi goes, I lost my virginity in what I thought was a park, but it was a graveyard, and now the ghost spirits live inside my eggs waiting to be reborn. And then she just fucking breaks a bottle to protect Amy and then jumps off the boat. And
Yeah.
this is like, I love Gigi. Because Amy's like, that is not the same thing as taking a brownie. And she's about to shank the caterer or the bouncer or whatever that guy was.
Yeah, because he like came up to Gigi and Amy, and he was like, "You can't smoke up here." And Gigi was like, "What did you just say to her?" And he was like, "I'm talking to you."
Breaks
the
the
bottle, and then she's like, "Don't talk to her like that." And she's like, "Come on, let's go," and tries to get Molly and Amy to jump off the boat with her. And Amy, they just do the self-defense thing that they learned from the video, and Gigi just jumps off the boat by herself.
And presumably she's done. So we move on.
Yes. And now Amy at this point, she's like, okay, we just went to a party, like, let's go home.
This counts.
Yeah.
Molly's like, this does not count.
And she calls Malala, which I guess is like their code for like, you have to go along with this, no questions asked, and they get like 1 a year.
Yeah.
Which is important to note because it does come up later.
Yes, it does. So yeah, it's a big deal that she's using it, and Amy's like, whoa, like, you get one of these, and Molly's like, yep, I'm using it. Well, let's go. So they call a lift.
Because they get the address from Alan, I
Yes.
think, to what is supposed to be Nick's party again.
Yes. So now they've got the address, they just need a lift. So they call a lift, ends up being their principal.
Is the lift driver, yes, Mr. Jason Sudeikis.
So, you know, naturally, that's fine or whatever. So, but now they feel the need to prepare more for the party. So what do you do in this instance if you're not sure what to expect? You watch porn in the back seat of the principal's lift, and you put your little headphones in.
And he's like, if you guys want to listen to your own music, we can put it in up here.
And then he does, and he hears the porn, and it's very funny. Funny moment. I think the first time I ever saw that scene, I think I like screamed a little. I was like, ah!
Like, I would have died.
Because, yeah, I would have died. And he's just like, is that Cardi B?
They should have said yes.
Like, that was so funny. Then they get to the second party.
And it is a murder mystery party hosted by the theater group.
Of course, naturally.
And who else is there but the mayor? Because they're like, where is Nick's party? And he was like, well, someone here came from Nick's party. And they were like, well, who? And he was like, the mayor. So it turns out the mayor...
Who's the mayor, do you think?
is Gigi.
Gigi! Of course.
Yeah, and then they start tripping because the strawberries...
that Gigi gave them at the first party...
were, like, dipped in drugs
were
of some
laced
kind.
the fuck out.
Yeah.
And so when she finds them at this party, she's like, how are you guys? They should be hitting you soon. And they're like, what should? And she's like, the strawberries. And then she just leaves again. So yeah, then we have this great fucking drug scene where they turn into fucking dolls.
Yeah,
and
like the Barbie dolls.
it's just so funny. I didn't really write anything about it because...
And Molly the whole time was like, no, we have to. And Amy was like, no, I like this
Amy's
body.
really getting in her
she's
doll
like...
body. And Molly's like, fuck, no. And she like tries to beat her up.
She's like, where's my chub?
Yeah. So they escape somehow with their weird little doll bodies and robotic movements, and
they continue to walk out of the party, walking like dolls with no knees.
Yes, it's great. So then they try again for another.
And this is where Gigi tells them that the reason that they want to go to Nick's party so bad is because Molly likes Nick. And Molly at first is like, no, ew. How would I ever? But then she comes clean to Amy and says that Nick would never like someone like her. And Amy slaps her for talking about her best friend like that. And
slaps the shit out of her.
So that's when Amy like gets her resolve back. Because at this point she's like, we definitely need to go home. Like we've been to 2 parties. We had drugs. We turned into dolls.
We've done it.
Like,
we listened to porn in our pencils back are.
But when she finds out that like Molly is being like self-deprecating and like she kind of gets her resolve back and she's like, we're going to Nick's party. But Molly's like, how are we gonna get there? And she's like, by doing what we do best, homework. So they go to the library and like try and research to find out where this party is. And they end up at the pizza place.
Naturally.
Because they saw the pizzas that were delivered and got in the back of the pizza delivery guy's car while he scolds them for getting into a random stranger's car with no weapon.
They tied their hair like as masks. Which one? I don't even know how you would do that. So good for them on that. So yeah, so they were trying to hijack information from this pizza guy, but they had nothing to use against this guy. And so he reprimands them.
Yeah, and he's like, don't trust random people. Like, don't get in the back of. He's like, I could have had you over the interstate or over state lines in 40 minutes. We're right by the freeway. Don't do that. And then I was like, and I had canon that he listens to true crime podcasts, but at the end we find out that is not the case.
No, it takes a turn.
Yes. And then Miss Fine comes and saves the day and takes them to the party.
Finally, they have arrived, and she lets them wear her clothes because California, I guess it's a thing. You keep clothes in your car. So they change.
Yeah, I love her reason. She's like, I'm a single woman in California. I've got stuff in here. I'm like, what?
I guess it's a Cali thing. I don't know. I guess if you have, like, auditions maybe or something, you would need, like, quick changes.
I was like, because the only reason I can imagine keeping anything like that in your car is either, one, you live in your car, or two, your car breaks down so often that you need to have those kind of things in there.
It could be that, too, I guess.
But then I wouldn't even think of clothes. I would think of, like, blankets. Like, have blankets and water bottles and stuff.
She's just very prepared.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to go with.
Yes. Well, let's just not question it.
Yeah. And then she's like, see you guys in there. JK, what if? Can you imagine? 10 minutes later, she is at the party.
10 minutes later, she is in there.
And Theo is trying to hit on his teacher.
And it works.
Yeah, it does.
It
Good
does certainly work.
He's like 20, so. Otherwise, teachers don't go to high school parties.
Yes. If you are a teacher, please do not go to a high school house party. You can chaperone the dances and stuff, but please do not go to a high schooler's house party.
And don't accept drinks.
Yeah. Even if the guy is 20.
Yeah, it's just not a good look.
Not a great look.
So they're at the party.
Yeah, so far it's going well. Like, Amy goes talk to Ryan, and Ryan says she's like, I've always wanted you to come out. And Amy was like, I did in 10th grade. And she was like, no, like, come out and hang out with us. Like,
yeah.
And Amy was like, oh. And she wants Amy to come hang out with them before she leaves for Botswana. And then you've got Ryan and Amy singing karaoke in the other room, and they're singing Alanis Morissette, which I love.
Yes.
And then you've got Molly and Nick are playing beer pong and getting along really, really well. Mm-hmm. And so everything just seems like everything is going great until Ryan takes Amy to the pool.
Yes.
And they both jump in, and Amy swims around for a bit and comes up to see. Do you want me to? She sees Nick and Ryan kissing.
I just thought you were on a roll. I was just going to let you go. So, two people that they are both liked or
kissing each other
in this instance. So, of course, then Amy gets upset, and she's like, all right, we need to leave. And so she goes to Molly, and Molly is, like, not hearing it. She's like, no, it's going fine, like, you're wet, get over it, like, a whole thing. And they have, like...
she thinks that the whole reason Amy wants to go home is because, Amy jumped in the pool and now she's wet, so she feels uncomfortable and she just wants to leave. And Amy's like, no, like, we need to go.
Yeah, and Molly's like, no, I think me and Nick are really hitting it off, like, he seems to like me. And Amy's just like, no, we just need to leave. And so they have, like, a classic kind of like a best friend fight, and everything gets kind of really quiet around them. You can see people filming it on their phones.
Oh, and this is also where Amy calls Malala.
But
Molly refuses.
Yeah, isn't listening to it.
Yes.
Do you ever have a bad fight with a friend at a party?
No. No, I did not.
It wasn't a classic thing at your parties?
No. I did not go to very many parties like this. Like, I went to a lot of, like, group hangouts, like, where we would go to etc., or we would go to, like, a friend's house, but mostly it was, like, because I didn't hang out a lot with people from school, other than, like, at football games, or, like, working on school stuff, or occasionally going to etc. with, like, a couple of close friends, but really, most of the people I hung out with were from my church, so we didn't do a whole lot of, like, having big house parties. Like, we would sit in the middle of Casey's living room floor and watch a Jack Black movie and play cards. And that was what we did. Or we would go to Parker's at like 9:30 in the evening. We did once break into a school playground while we were in high school at like 11:30 at night, and we all played on the playground.
You crazy cat.
I know, we were so wild. But I'm pretty sure we were trespassing.
You were just playing on a playground. It's not that serious.
No, but it definitely could be. I think it was a fenced-in playground. Like, we had to
actively
climb a fence. But it was fun. But no, we did not have any, like, crazy arguments, or there was no pools. Well, Jaden had a pool and a hot tub, and we hung out in that a lot. But really, we just, like, would sit there and all laugh. Like, I don't know. It was a good time. It was a good time. Now that we've talked about it.
Oh gosh.
These are my favorite videos. They're probably some of the first videos I've ever taken on Snapchat, I think. From like years ago.
Oh, hey, Celeste.
Oh my goodness. Hi.
If you hear a cat eating, my elusive cat has just decided to join us.
Yeah, so like we played ukulele on the floor.
Of course he did.
Watched movies, and then had a bonfire.
So wholesome.
Yeah, and then there's hot tub. Yeah, so nothing too crazy.
Very wholesome.
Although I love this picture. We tried to have a cinematic movie moment.
Lots of knees. Cute.
Yeah, so I had a lot of like wholesome high school hangouts, but they were all with people from church.
I gotcha.
Back when I used to go to that.
Yeah, I've never fought with anyone at a party either.
Yeah, me either. I also think I just would never.
I fought with someone's mom, though, at a party.
I love that.
It was a girl I just met that day, and her mom, and I fought with the mom.
I want to know the story. Please do share.
Well, here's the thing. I got blackout that night, so I don't remember a lot of it.
Okay.
But I woke up outside in the rain with a bleeding toe. So, what I think happened, so me and another friend drove down to stay with our other friend who lives like an hour away from where we live now.
Do any of these people involve Sydney and Elena?
No.
Oh.
So, I hung out with Sydney and Elena, were my main group in high school because we went to like school together. These were my other high school friends who I did not go to school with, but I went to Australia with.
Okay, gotcha. Because I'm sitting here, like, if you fought with Elena's mom, like, I kind of, like, would love to hear that.
Never. She is my other mother, and she would whip my ass.
Because I feel like from knowing Elena, I'm like, I feel like a fight with you and her mom, like, I would need that in HD for me to watch over and over again.
I don't know what I would fight with Dawn over. No, I literally never met this one before in my life, except for this day. And so when we were staying with our other friend, she was going to go hang out. Like, we were going to go stay with her friend from school. So it was me and my friend who went. We met our friend, and then she took the two of us to another friend's house. And so we were basically just staying at the stranger's house. And this was, God, maybe sophomore or junior year. So I was 15 or 16. Mm-hmm. Maybe 16, because I drove. So 16 or 17 maybe. So we were there, and of course it was the three of us, and then her friend, and then another friend. So these two girls I never met, and we were staying at the one friend's house with her mom. And so her mom basically just gave us all a bunch of alcohol. And so I guess, like, she's one of those moms. And so we were drinking.
If you guys are gonna drink, I'd rather you do it in the house.
Yes.
You guys need anything? Snacks? A condom?
Yeah, pretty much that mom. And so we were just like talking, hanging out, and, you know, played games or whatever. And then we got downstairs, and I don't know. I guess I was just in a silly goo-hoo mode. Because
I can't believe you fought with the mom that gave y'all alcohol.
That's what I was fighting with her about. I was calling her a bad mom for giving kids alcohol.
While you were drinking it?
I was a drug off my ass.
Oh my god.
And yeah, like I said, I was so drunk I blacked out, so I don't remember a lot of it. But I guess it was pretty intense, because I think she kicked me out, and I slept outside, and I guess at one point I fell off the porch, kind of broke my toenail open. It was bleeding all over the place. And I woke up in the grass. So that's, what I do at parties, I guess. I fight with people's moms who give me alcohol.
See, I feel like really the only person I've ever fought with
I'm pretty sure I was also hot. Like, I was very cross-faded, too, I think. It was just not a good time.
is Brett. Who's my brother. Like, he's really the only person I've ever fought with.
I don't even think I've genuinely fought with my sister.
Like, me and Brett have, like, stood in the kitchen for 10 minutes, like, yelling at each other. And there was one time in school, we had shared a class together, because I hadn't taken digital literacy yet, and I had to have it to graduate, so I took it senior year. Typing.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Keyboard, we learned Excel. Like, it was a dumb class. It was
like
a
just
class.
computer class.
Yeah. But Brett decided that since I was taking it as a senior, he was going to take it so that way we could have a class together. I was like, okay, things are
Great.
fine. Like, at this point, me and Brett had kind of stopped, like, fighting as much. Like, we still fought every now and then, but most of the time we were, like, chill. Like, because as you guys, like, Brett is my best friend. Like, I love him. But sometimes he gets on my nerves.
That's fair.
Sometimes I get on his nerves. We're siblings. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
So we got in an argument in the middle of class. We weren't, like, yelling at each other, but we were definitely, like, whisper yelling at each other, like, because we were sitting right next to each other. And I was, like, just getting so angry. And he was getting angry. And we just kept whisper yelling back and forth. And I literally stood up, and I looked at the teacher. I said, I'm going to the library. And she was like, what? I was like, I'm going to the library. I've done my assignment. All you want us to do is practice typing. I'm going to the library. And she was like, okay, because I think, like, she so bad wanted to tell me no, and be like,
she was kind of scared.
She was like, because you literally, like, I should not have been able to do that. Like,
right.
there was no reason I should have gotten away with that, or gotten away with it, and not have gotten into any trouble afterwards. But it somehow happened. I don't know, but I guess maybe she could just tell by the look on my face, but also, like, I don't know if she, like, already knew, because it was kind of towards the end of the year. She knew I was exempt from finals because I had, like, passed all my finals, like, was on the honor roll, had, like, the attendance thing, no disciplinary, whatever, that you could be exempt from finals. So I think it was just, like, whatever. Just like, it's probably fine. I doubt she's gonna do anything. So she kind of just let me go because it was getting bad. Then there was one time we had a party, and by party, me, Brett, and David, who's Brett's best friend, were all underage and could not be legally allowed to drink. And we went to the barn where my dad has beer and whiskey and other stuff. And David bought alcohol somehow. I don't know, but he got the alcohol from somewhere. So he brought, like, Smirnoff Ices. Like the red, white, and berry ones.
Yeah.
And, like, and he brought those. I swear, I think I had, like, 6 of them, and I was just chilling, like, because I had already had a high alcohol tolerance, and I was just sitting there, like, we were all in the barn drinking. Brett, I think, had, like, 2, and he was getting to the point that he fell over in the cornfield, and I got so pissed. I was like, I cannot believe I'm having to fucking babysit you after 2 Smirnoff Ices. Are you kidding me? But that wasn't a real fight, nor a real party, so it doesn't really count. But I was not happy about having to babysit.
That's fair.
But he's gotten better. If by better you mean we both turned into slightly alcoholics, but I think it's for the best.
I can't judge either. Alright, so anyway, so they just had their fight.
Yeah, moral of the story, I've never gotten in a fight with a friend at a party.
Yeah, it went off way off there, sorry.
Welcome to our podcast.
I was just trying to bring in some outside influences.
Yeah, and instead you got whatever that was.
Yeah, instead I had to tell a story about how I fought with someone's mom that I just met. So, more of the story is don't invite me to parties. I guess I'll chew someone out for no reason. I think I was mean. I remember hearing my other friend was like, you were really mean. I was like, okay.
Now, I did get scolded on a night out once. I think I've told that story to you before.
Maybe.
It was the only time I've ever been blackout drunk, and we were at PBW, and Carrie, because I had like 9 cocktails, and I was just drinking them like juice at that point, because they were like fuzzy navels at that, like,
yeah.
It was still when I was like a baby, like baby drinker. I went with like fuzzy navels or like stuff like that. I had like 9 of them that I drank like juice, and I was so drunk. And Carrie, who's like my bar mom, she was like, you go up to that bar and you get you a water. And I was like, okay. So get up to the bar. The line is so long. By the time I get up to the bar, I forgot why I was up there and ordered another drink and came back, and Carrie was like, what the fuck? And I was like, why else was I up there? She was like, I sent you to get a water. I was like, oops.
I've literally had that conversation with Elena before. We were at the bar one night, and she got real drunk. We had to drive her home that night. She was supposed to go tab out, and so she goes up to the bar. She's like, okay, I'm gonna go tab out, and then we can leave. And then she comes back to the table, and we're like, did you tab out? And she's like, God, no, I did 3 shots. I'll go get my card. Hold on. So she had to go tab out again. And she came back. She's like, I tabbed out. I did 2 more shots. And I was like, let's go. So they had their fight. And so they kind of like split off from each other then.
Yeah. Amy like walks away and goes to cry in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And then that's where Hope is.
Yes.
And Hope is like making fun of her.
Yeah, Hope, you met Hope briefly in the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
She kind of made like a snide, like she kind of gives off like a mean, I don't even know, not hippie, but like a mean.
She's very like boho chic.
Yeah, but I guess that's what I'm thinking. Like a very kind of like a mean boho vibe, and she kind of did like a snide remark to
like
Amy.
She seems like a Coachella goer.
Yeah, I can see that. So yeah.
Like rather than like a fun festival, like she's definitely like more of the Coachella type, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So she's in the bathroom when Amy comes in there to like cry, and she's like, I locked that. And Amy's like, well, clearly you didn't. And then like is being all sad, and so yeah, she kind of like starts making fun of her.
Yeah, and she like calls her a coward, and it's like, well, you're the one who's crying in a bathroom. And then they keep arguing, and then they kiss, and I was like, yes. I was like, enemies to lovers, that's my favorite.
Yes, they're getting full on make out, and then it gets very hot and heavy. And then I just got such secondhand embarrassment.
Oh, yeah. I felt so bad. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I was like, you poor baby. Because she drank, like, roach water is what I'm pretty sure was in there. It was like, it looked like a roach, I think is what she spit out. I couldn't tell.
It was very hard. Like, she picked it up, you could see that it was something, but I couldn't tell what at least.
My best guess was it was a roach. And by roach, I don't mean like a cockroach. I mean like the end of a blunt.
Yeah.
Like that's what it looked like.
It was something like that. So she had a very bad reaction.
She did. God bless her.
So yeah, her and Hope are, they're laying down on the floor. They're, presumed they're going to have sex, which of course Amy was already nervous because, we find out she's only had sex with her panda. Which, oh my god, the last scene of that movie. Okay.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
We'll get there, but oh.
I was dying. Okay, well, she already, stuck a finger in the wrong hole, and so Hope is like, I don't think that's the hole you think it is. And so she's embarrassed already, and then, she does the drink or whatever, and...
Because she thinks it's just alcohol, like, she's gonna take a shot and,
help her nerves.
Get her nerves back together, and instead it's roach water.
And so she throws up on Hope.
On Hope, yeah.
And Hope is understandably just like, leave, please leave. I need to take a shower.
She gets in the shower and she's like, just get out. And she's not yelling at Amy or making fun of Amy. She's just
she needs time.
Yeah, she needed to process what just happened.
Which is fair.
Very fair.
You thought you were about to get laid, and then you got thrown up on instead. So, but I was just such secondhand embarrassment. I was like, no, baby Amy.
I was like, oh, you poor thing. You poor thing. So, also in this party is, while they were making out in the bathroom, Jared and Molly start bonding, and...
Yeah, Jared's there.
Yeah, Jared's there. Gigi's also there. We love her.
Naturally.
She was behind the bar. She popped up, and Molly was like, how are you here?
The funniest bit, the whole is just Gigi popping up everywhere, and they're like, what the fuck?
And this whole time, I'm like, Gigi's like a witch. She can just teleport.
She's just a little fairy.
But then I realized it just literally takes them that long to fucking get from one place to the other.
Because Gigi just knew where all the parties are. That's what I say in my head.
Yeah.
She just knew where everyone was.
I'm like, Gigi's a witch. She can teleport. And I'm like, no, it just literally takes Molly and Amy for fucking ever to get anywhere.
Yeah, and Jared has a car. So, he can easily just drive her everywhere. which is what he does.
But yeah, and you find out Jared wants to design planes so that way he can make enough money to do something. And I can't even remember what that other something was because it was just off the wall. I was like,
yeah, it was so
cool,
random.
Jared. Good for you.
Live your
Good
dream,
for you. So Molly gets up and she sees Ryan and Nick kissing in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. And so she's like ready to leave and ready to go. And then the cops show up. Mm-hmm. And so everyone is trying to get out of there. And Molly is looking for Amy, but Amy's still nowhere to be found.
She gets kind of like pushed out in this stampede of people. Yeah,
so she gets pushed out and ends up walking. And Amy is like, let's create a diversion. She's like, I'm going to create a diversion
she's like,
so
I'm
you
not
guys
a
can
coward.
escape.
Like, this is my time to shine.
This is her moment. And then she gets arrested. And so she's in jail.
Yes.
And then Molly is walking on the freeway and, AAA comes to pick her up. And that's when you find out that the roadside assistance is literally she would just offer to give them rides. But she says, and then she also gave hand jobs because she's allowed to enjoy it. Like,
yeah, because
if she enjoys it, she can enjoy it. And I was like, you know what? You go, girl.
Yes.
And
love sex positivity.
Yes, we do. And she hates especially because she expected the guys to say something about it, but she never expected the girls would do the same thing to her. And that's where we learn her name is Annabelle because she was like, please don't call me AAA when we get to Yale. And Molly goes, all right, Annabelle. And she's like, well, don't start now.
It's weird.
She's like, that's weird. Yes. So then the next day, it's graduation day.
Right.
And Molly... alarm goes off with pomp and circumstance is her alarm.
Which I love.
I was like, all right. And finds out that Amy went to jail. So she has to get to the jail and she goes to see Amy and they apologize. They have a talk. They become friends again. And it turns out that they were able to get Amy out of jail because
they
had information to trade. Because the pizza delivery guy was like the strangler or something was on the poster.
The local town strangler that there is wanted. And they were like, we know this guy. We broke into his car.
He delivers pizzas. So Jared is starting off the graduation speech in Molly's absence, and then all of a sudden Amy just crashes through the gates in Jared's car.
100% not something you can do.
No, absolutely not.
I loved it for the effect.
I love how Jared got up there and he was like, I am a woman.
Like he's just reading
Molly's speech, and it's like, oh,
didn't even blink an eye. This man, bless.
He was ready. And then Molly gets up there and just starts making out with Jared in front of everybody. And which also doesn't really happen during a graduation speech.
I mean, I've only been to one graduation. I don't know. Maybe it happens more often than you think.
I think I've been to 3 graduations.
Why?
Mine, my brothers, and my friends.
Yeah, I forget you have siblings. Yeah. I guess that makes sense.
But everyone cheers, and then she gives her speech, and I didn't really pay attention to the speech. I was like, this is good.
She was basically just saying, like, she had this whole... Basically what we said about the movie is about. Like, she had these conceptions about everyone, and, like, she was wrong, and she kind of apologized for stereotyping everyone or thinking that she was better than them and stuff like that, and talked about their night, and...
Yeah, I was like, because I did not write anything about the speech. I was like, she gave her speech.
Yeah, I mean, it was truly just like, speech, hey, she was wrong. You guys are cool. I'm sorry.
For judging you.
Was who I was for the past, 4 years, Stuff like that. And, we're all going to go do awesome things in college.
Yes.
Was the gist of it.
And it was a good speech.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Hope comes back to Amy's house while she's packing for Botswana. And... I will let you say the other part of the packing for Botswana.
Yeah, so Amy is packing, and her mom comes in, and, so Amy packed her panda that, she has, sex with, her practice panda, or whatever you want to call it, and her mom just starts kissing the panda and loving on it, and my favorite scene about this is Molly's reaction, because she was laying down, and then Lisa Kudrow, of course, is who it is, comes in and starts loving on this panda, and Molly just starts standing up so slowly, and she's just basically like, no, Amy, make it stop. She keeps, freaking out.
Yeah, she's like, make it stop, end this.
And then Will Forte, the dad, comes in, and then he starts kissing and loving on the panda, and I think Molly just, she either smacks the panda out of their hand, or she shoves him.
No, she literally just hits the panda down.
She just, like, smacks the panda out of it, and they're all just staring at her, and she's just, like, heavy breathing, like she's about to have a heart attack, and it was so funny.
And that's when all of a sudden the dad goes, Amy, there's someone here to see you. Because
Emily's like, what? Who's here to see my best friend?
And then, so Hope is there.
Hope is there.
And Molly is watching out of the
Freaking
window
out
the whole
the window.
time. Like, just staring.
And, like, trying to sign, be like, oh my god.
Because Hope brings Amy back her underwear.
Yeah. He also gives her her number.
Yes, and gives her her number.
So not all hope was lost.
Yeah. Ha ha.
I didn't mean it like that. As I was saying it, I was like, oh yeah, her name is Hope.
Yeah. Hope says that she's gonna backpack, and Amy was like, yeah, I'm also taking a gap year. So she was like, hey, well, if you're ever in Botswana, like, you can come stay with me. And I was like, aw.
Yeah, very cute.
Yes. And then Molly takes Amy to the airport for her to get ready to leave. And they just keep saying their goodbyes. She's got her bags. And all of a sudden, Molly starts driving away, and Amy just, like, jumps in front of the car.
Like, just sad.
And she's like, you want to go get your pancakes? And the movie ends with, fuck yeah, I do. And that's how the movie ends. Yes. Other than the water balloon montage at the end where everyone is getting a water balloon thrown at their face.
Fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun moment.
Yeah. And that's how it ends. But also, my question is, what, like, Amy's parents didn't drive her to the airport? Like,
yeah.
My mom would never. And for one, like, as, like, much as they were into their daughter, I just can't imagine that they were okay with not taking her to the airport for a year in Africa.
Yeah,
so that was my own, like, nitpicky thing. I was like,
no. This is not, that's not how this goes. Like, sure, they probably would have taken Molly with them.
Yeah.
But they would not have just let Molly and
child.
Amy. Yeah, goodbye.
For a year. No.
I hope you get on the plane okay.
Yes, that was my one, like, well, you had me up until this moment.
But the other thing is, it seems like she takes a lot of trips like that, like, because I think she said something about, like, being in Europe for the UN. So it may be something that, like, Amy just does a lot, so they were probably so like,
used to it. My whole brain was like, they're not going to see her for a year. Like, they're going to take her to the airport. But that's just my suffocating mom. Like, she would never not take me. But yeah, so that was the movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it.
Did you like it?
Yes.
I thought you would. It seemed like a movie Skylar could like.
Yeah, because I think also at the time that I was picking it, I was like, I didn't want to watch anything sad. Because Lady Bird looked good and it had Timothée Chalamet in it. And I know people make fun of Timothée Chalamet, but I love him. I
love him.
I love Timothée Chalamet.
He's such a weird little dude. I love him.
But it looked sad, and the other one looked sad. The 20th Century Woman one.
20th Century Woman? Or 20th? Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, so I think we're just going to go with Booksmart. This one seems fun and kind of, like, happy, and it was.
Those are fun, too, but Lady Bird does make me cry sometimes. And I don't know, I've only seen the 20th Century one once. And it's a little deeper, probably, than the other two.
I guess the other two didn't really look sad. They just definitely looked more serious than Booksmart. Like, this one was just, like, a funny, goofy movie.
Yeah, this one's definitely more lighthearted.
And it made me happy to watch it. I was like, this is a good movie.
Good. So how's it feel to be recording again?
It feels good. I enjoyed this. I have missed it for sure. Okay. That's definitely... Coming over here once a week is like the highlight of my week.
Shut up.
It is.
I missed it too.
Yeah. Do you remember me telling you about Stacy, the girl at the wine store who invited us over to her house, like for like a movie night, like out in her backyard with like a projector and everything?
Vaguely.
Okay. Well, when I went to go pick up wine, she was working today. And I was like, yeah, and I'm going over to Brittany's house, like, so we can record. And she was like, now, is Brittany your girlfriend? And I went, no. I was like, no, Brittany's like my older sister.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was funny. I was like, no, she's like my older sister. Because I'm like, yeah, Brittany's like my friend who's like an older sister. Because you're the older sister I always wanted, and Jennifer's like the older sister that I never wanted.
Never wanted. Ouch.
Well, she calls me the younger sister she never wanted, so it's fine.
Okay. At least it goes both
it's
ways.
Mutual.
That's fine.
But yeah, so I'm so happy to be back.
Well, good. I think it went well.
We did it!
It's like we know what we're doing. We don't.
No, not at all. Not even close.
We don't know. Who am I kidding? Any final thoughts about the movie? Who's your favorite character?
Amy and Jared and Gigi.
That's 3, but okay. Fair.
I fucking love them.
Nah, I mean, the whole cast was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Gigi is definitely my favorite. Highlight of the movie for me. I loved it.
Yeah, she was great.
Billie Lourd. Chef's kiss.
I wasn't sure how to feel about her at first, because the first time you see her, she's just, like, crawling on top of the car, and I was like, what is happening right now?
Classic. Insta-fave. I knew I was gonna love her. And then the yacht just cemented it, and I was like, yep.
Yeah, that was when I was like, wait, I love her. I was like, she's a vibe.
Yeah, I want to be her when I grow up.
When I grow up, I want to be Gigi. Well, I guess we should end this.
Should we spin?
We should. Let me get our drink wheel ready.
All right. I feel like it went so smooth.
I know.
It's
Other
weird.
than, like, the 12,000 tangents I went on.
Even then, they're still
But that's
barely an hour.
par for the course.
Yeah, that's what, I mean, you know what you're doing at this point. We're 40 episodes into this bitch.
Yeah,
If you're
they...
still here, it's by your choice.
Yeah, you know what to expect from me.
Which, hey, if our regular listeners are back, thanks for coming back.
Yes, thank you for joining us again and not forgetting about us.
Even though we forgot about us.
Sometimes life just gets in the way.
But hey, we're doing the damn thing again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, let's spin.
Yay!
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay. This could be interesting.
So hey, this is just picks all around.
Yeah, so our topic for next week is random, which just basically means we get to talk about whatever we want, and then our drink is going to be a drink we like.
We have to make a lot of decisions.
We do.
Which we are notoriously bad at. Yay.
So we'll see how this goes.
Yes.
Watch me roll up with a whiskey drink now. Because now that I like whiskey, I guess I'm just going to have to stick to gin on my don't likes.
I got a new bottle of gin I'm excited to try.
Is it Hendrix? Is it a new flavor? Or... Oh, okay.
It's one I haven't had before. I can't remember what it was called. It has coastal botanicals in it. And I'm like, what does coastal mean? Like beach? I got beach shit in it? That's cool.
It's just sand.
I mean, if it's Hendrix, I'll probably like it because I love Hendrix gin.
There's a vague hint of oysters in there.
Do you think fish? It's giving seaweed.
That's the coastal botanical. It's just seaweed.
I like seaweed.
Is this what it's like when they eat algae in Stardew Valley for energy?
I should be doing that. In a pinch, you do what you gotta do.
You do what you gotta do. Sometimes I forget to bring food to the beach, and sometimes I catch a lot of algae, so may as well.
Algae and seaweed, baby. All right, though. I guess. Do you remember how to do this part?
Ooh. Ooh. We shall see.
It's
Okay.
your moment to shine.
Let's do this. Alrighty, well, thank you so much for listening. So if you would like to check out the podcast or us as a duo on other platforms, you can check us out at Sip in Spin Pod on all social media, Twitter, Instagram. We have a TikTok that we've been posted, well, that Brittany has been posting on.
Yeah, so, and also our YouTube. So the stuff kind of going on our TikTok is mostly snippets from our YouTube. We've got some stuff coming out with Dream Daddy that
Yes.
I have been working on editing. So, yeah, check it out. It's pretty funny. We're idiots, just like we are here, except you get to see us be the idiots. So.
You get to see our face.
Yeah,
while
lucky
we're-
you.
And you can also email us at sipinspinpod@gmail.com if you have any suggestions for anything, especially like for random, if we get to a point where you can email us suggestions that you would like for us to talk about or things like that. You know, our email sipinspinpod@gmail.com. If you would like to follow Brittany, her social media is Whimsy Dream or Whimsy Dreams, depending on what was available. And then if you want to follow me, my social media is Gleam YKS, but as always, the 3 link trees for the show, myself, and Brittany are in the description below.
Yes, and we technically have like an empty wedge on our spin wheel right now for categories. We kind of know what we're gonna put there, but definitely if you have a better, more unique idea, we would definitely be interested in hearing it, and it might go on our spin wheel.
Yeah.
So definitely reach out for that as well.
Yeah, if you have any ideas, just let us know. We'd be happy to hear from you.
Or if there's a category you guys just don't like and you want us to get rid of it and replace it with something, let us know that too, because we don't know unless you talk to us.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, we're just going to keep doing what we're
Yeah.
doing and hope for the best.
Truly. So.
Yeah, that's typically what we do. We just do what we do and hope it's decent and that someone out there enjoys it. But if not, it's okay because we enjoy it.
Yeah, and we're usually drunk anyway, so.
Yeah, so
It is
we're always going to have a good time.
But if you want to help yourself have a better time, reach out to us. But yeah, we are officially back. So we've had a few episodes come out recently, but this is actually the first one that we have recorded within the last, 5 months. So from here on out.
So season 2 of Sip and Spin, baby.
Is a go.
Let's do this.
Ongoing now. So forgive us if you've listened to the past 3 episodes that have come out. They were way off, timeline-wise from now.
I'm pretty sure we complained about the cold.
Yeah, so please forgive us that.
It's summer.
It's hell out here in this heat. So yeah, just forgive us for the time.
It's been decent the past couple of days. It's been the mid.
But the last 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh! It was 100 degrees, and my AC in my car has a short, so randomly the AC will turn off, and I'm like, cool, great,
no,
thanks.
God, that sounds awful.
Yeah, well, I told you about it that one night, the first time it happened, because I was telling you, I was like, yeah, because I was driving down the road, decked out in, a green kimono, and, with flowers all over it, listening to, was it Fleetwood? Maybe.
I feel like it was in the vibe like that.
Yeah, I think it was Fleetwood, or Fleetwood Mac, I guess, but,
I know what you meant.
No, it wasn't. It was Florence and the Machine.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I was
same
listening.
Vibe.
Yes, same vibe. And had the top down, and 2 guys were walking down, and cat called me and I was like, dude, I'm literally the most lesbian I've ever been right now. How are you gonna do
Please
this?
Pay attention. That's men for you. Yeah.
But it was because my AC had gone out, so I had to put the top down because it was the only way to get any air moving through the car.
Fair.
This was so fun. I missed this a lot.
I'm glad it was fun.
I think that's why I'm extra talkative today. It's because it's been so long. I'm like, I can just keep going.
Hey, I like it. But yes, we thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking with us.
Thanks for coming back. If you came back, if you're new, welcome and buckle up.
Yeah, get ready. You are in for a wild ride. I was going to say treat, but I can't guarantee that.
We make no promises for your enjoyment.
I cannot promise you that because you could sue.
Yeah, we don't need that right now.
I'm poor. And not as funny as I think I am.
You have your moments. So yeah, we can't guarantee a good time, but we can guarantee that you can sip with us next week.
That was awful. Oh God.
Welcome back, Skylar.
Oh no. That's the one part I don't miss.
Yes, she did. She missed it.
Bye.
Bye.